Hello and welcome to the heliosblog. My name is Helios, here for another reaction video. Today, Matthew Hussey talks about giving too much in a relationship. Let's get into it.
The reason she's alone is because she's difficult.
Women are not accepting the bare minimum.
Women fuck men they respect.
All the women who say things like, I'm strong, independent, I don't need no man, like, y'all impress me.
Women just gaslight each other and say what they want to hear.
The other day, and someone comes over and says, Matthew, at my table is a huge fan of yours. She's got your programs. Will you please come over and say hi? So I come over to their table, I say hi, and this person says, thank you so much. And I got your attraction to commitment program, and it absolutely works. What you do works. She said, but if I'm honest, I'm actually a little mad at you. And I said, why are you mad? She said, because I feel like I spent so much time trying to bring my best, trying to be my most attractive self to this person, that I feel like I kind of lost myself and just ended up giving too much to the relationship.
Right, so what's the idea here? The idea is that girls are only interested in Chad, who are more attracted to them. Who they're more attracted to than he is to them. They have more options than them. And because women want only that guy, they give everything to that guy, and they're surprised when that guy doesn't reciprocate. And then they want to know, they want a cause. How do I fix it? Well, you can't fix it because that's inherent in the system.
When I heard that, at first I was confused. Because I spend so much of this program that she was referring to saying things like this.
Remaining a challenge is about maintaining the other important parts of your life. And I want you to think about what those things are, those things that make you, you. They're very, very important. Because when someone meets you, that's the shit that they get attracted to in the first place, is the rounded, multi-dimensional person that you are.
So what's the point? What Matthew's trying to imply is that, don't drop any of your friends, don't drop any of your hobbies, don't change for the guy. Well, no, that's wrong. All women change to meet the shape of the container, so changing to meet the shape of the container is correct. The only thing is choosing the correct guy to which you should become in the shape of his container, right? A lot of girls, they choose the guy wrong and then wonder what went wrong. Well, what went wrong is you chose the wrong guy. You chose a guy that's above your price range. And so because you chose that guy, you're obviously going to end up miserable.
But I understand. There is a kind of selective hearing that happens when we really like someone, when we're really into someone. Our mind goes to, how do I keep them? How do I impress them? How do I be my most attractive self to this person? And of course, I do tell people that in my...
Chad. Okay, shilling time. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit all for notifications. Drop me a donation like Hunter M, Adriana, and Tom M. Link is in the description. Just click more underneath the video. Buy my books at bit.ly/heliosbooks. And of course, go to my Patreon and subscribe. Patreon.com/theheliosblog. All right, let's continue.
My programs, here's how to bring your best to the table. And I will always stand by that, by the way. I can never relate to people in my comment section online when someone says, well, why do you need to do all of this for a person? Why do you need to go out of your way to be your most attractive self? Why can't you just be who you are?
Well, the reason you can't just be who you are is because who you are gets a certain kind of result, and who men want, and therefore the kind of girl that gets a better result has a different behavior pattern, right? So the idea is, if you as a girl want the absolute most attractive man you could possibly get for your level, then you need to work to be the best version of yourself, right? Physically fit, feminine, submissive, cooperative, bedroom fun, loyal. These things are what men are attracted to, not your job, not your career, not your car, not your apartment. That's not what men are attracted to. Women, conversely, are attracted to these things in men, in addition to being physically fit, being dominant, being charismatic, being superior to other men.
And I always think, why are the two mutually exclusive? Why can't you be who you are, but also focus on bringing your best to a relationship? I want to do that. I want to be irreplaceable in my life. And in every one of my relationships, I want to bring so much value to that relationship that it's obvious to someone why they would want to continue that relationship with me.
Right. And that sort of advice applies very well to women, right? What can you give a man that you've never given another man? What can you give him that you've never given someone else? So, for example, can you give him children? Can you give him respect? Can you give him loyalty, cooperation, physical fitness, and so on? Were you giving these things to every guy that you were with? Or is this guy special? Is this guy better? Is this guy the guy you actually want to be with? That's the point.
Whether it's in business, in my love life, in my friendships, my family, I'm all about bringing value. But the selective hearing that happens sometimes when someone listens to one of my programs is that they hear all the parts that they can do to be impressive, but they forget about the parts, or they ignore the parts where I say, by the way, pay very close attention to whether this person is bringing you the same amount of value.
Mutual investment. And I've been saying this for years now. You don't invest in someone based on how much you like them. You invest in them based on how much they invest in you.
Right. So what's the point? The point is, if the guy is not giving you anything, if he's just friends with benefits with you, then you don't give him everything, right? And it's obvious why. You don't give him everything because he hasn't earned it, right? Now there's more. Sometimes a girl has to compromise, right? She knows that she's with a man that other men want to be and other women want to be with. And so she gives more than the guy gives her. And these are the only men that women are actually attracted to anyway, right? But if she goes too far and gives too much to a guy that's too high above her price range, then that's when the problems arise.
Pay very close attention to whether they are investing the same amount of time and energy in you.
Well, it is like what Matthew's implying is equal relationships, right? Like, oh, the guy and the girl have to give equal amounts of time. They have to give equal amounts of whatever. Well, actually, the truth is that women do have to give more than men to be in a relationship with a man of value in terms of, a commitment type behaviors. What men have to give that's more than women is, they have to give more money, they have to give more effort, they have to put in the work to be that competitive, successful man, right?
Because although I talk about being irreplaceable, although I talk about everything you should put in, that energy, that time, that value you should put in should be expensive. It should come at a high cost. And the cost is, I'm willing to give you the world as long as you meet me there.
That's right. And this is actually very good advice for men. I will provide you with a ton of value, but I will only provide a ton of value to a person who actually respects me, who actually treats me properly, who actually does what I want, who actually is feminine, who actually is submissive, who actually is cooperative, who actually is loyal. I will only give the total effort, the biggest piece of me. I will only give that to a girl with a low end count. I will only give that relationship to a girl that has earned it, and she consistently earns it. She earns it through long-term good behavior over time, not just once every 6 months. She earns it every single day. It's very important, guys.
That's the cost. And if you ignore the fact that someone isn't meeting you there, now you're in trouble. And why does someone ignore the fact that this person isn't meeting them there? Because they're blinded by how much they like or love the person.
Right. And there's more than this. Some guys, they have so few options that is literally the only girl they've ever had in 10 years. And so what they do is they give more, hoping against hope that this might convince the girl to stay. But really, what convinces girls to stay is a man being competitive, successful, fit, a man that other men want to be and other women want to be with. That's what keeps girls interested. Dread, the fear of loss, competition anxiety, the fear that another girl could take the guy. And, dominance, the knowledge that the guy is better than other men. These are the things that keep women interested. Not being a nice guy or whatever.
They're blinded by how impressive or wonderful they think that person is. And they forget that it's not enough in a relationship to be impressed by the person you're with. You also have to be impressed by the relationship. It's not enough to think they're great. The relationship itself has to provide you with value.
Yeah, that's right. And this is actually more important for men to understand than women. Although women in 2023 make this mistake too when they get with Chad and friends with benefits arrangements and think that they're actually in a relationship. But men actually do this more than women, which is they think that just because the girl shows up to a date that she's worthy to be a girlfriend. No. Just because she shows up doesn't mean she's worthy. She proves her worth through consistent long-term good behavior. And here's what I mean. Is she pleasant? Is she feminine? Which means she dresses feminine, she acts feminine, she defers to you. Is she cooperative? Does she go along with your plans? Is she pleasant? Is she argumentative and fighting you all the time? Or is she trying to create a pleasant environment or actively putting in effort in making a good environment or helping you to achieve that? These are the things, guys. These are the things that maintain relationships that women should be doing. Does she cook? Does she clean? Does she care about doing things that make you happy? These are very important things, guys.
Because if you're with someone who's massively impressive, but the relationship itself does not bring you value, does not bring you joy, then you're in a world of suffering and pain, no matter how wonderful the person you're with is. And your reality isn't determined by how impressive they are, but how beautiful the ecosystem of the relationship is. That's what's going to determine your emotional reality, and your emotional reality is going to determine your happiness.
Well, again, now he's talking in woo-woo woman language, but the idea is that if you're not getting value from the relationship, you shouldn't be in the relationship. And this is especially true for men, because there are too many women that are just moochers. They don't do anything. They don't contribute anything. They don't help with anything. They just take, and me, I, not thinking for a second what the man wants. That is the kind of girl you want to avoid at all costs, because that will be pain and suffering for your whole life.
So, ask, not just are they impressive, is the relationship and what I get from the relationship impressive? Because that's the only way I'm going to bring all these things that Matthew Hussey says to bring to the table. And if you wake up every morning and ask yourself, are my needs being met in this relationship? And the answer is no, too many days or weeks or months in a row, you know something has to change.
That's exactly right. And this, again, especially applies to men. Because women, very often, their friends will tell them these things, right? They'll help them. Or they'll actively sabotage them to try to break up their relationship so they can have the guy instead. But if they're a good friend, they'll tell them. And women are more likely to have friends than men, because that's just how it is. And especially to have friends that can advise them properly about relationships. Because in 2023, mostly the relationship advice you get is, advice that favors women, right? Just do what the girl wants. Just be a butler. Just kiss her ass and everything will be good. Just put her on a pedestal. Of course, that doesn't work, but that's the advice you get. Whereas girls will actually say stuff like, if you're not being treated well, leave, and so on. But men don't get this advice, and men need to follow this, which is, if you're not getting value out of the relationship, if you're giving, and getting nothing in return, you're not getting fit, you're not getting feminine, you're not getting cooperative, you're not getting bedroom fun loyal, you're not getting friendly, you're not getting submissive, then what are you even doing there? Get a girl who will. That's the point. If you don't do it, I will find someone who does. I would rather be alone than experience the BS of being with that garbage. That's how you should be thinking.
If you want to continue this journey with me, I actually am giving you today a free...
Okay. We're going to skip the shilling and go on to the next video.
I wanted to let you know the 30-day confidence challenge. He doesn't go. I'm naturally anxiously attached and I'm suffering every day having him in my life.
Chad.
But knowing he doesn't want a relationship with me.
Chad.
I tried doing no contact and staying away, but it never lasts.
Chad. So again, she's in a permanent friends with benefits arrangement. Okay. So guys, friends with benefits for women is like friend zone for men. So friends with benefits is the girl is just sleeping with the guy is getting bedroom fun at no commitment, has to do no relationship behaviors, and the girl is getting nothing, right? In a friend zone situation, the guy is acting like a boyfriend basically, and then the girl goes and sleeps with Chad. So friends with benefits, which is what this situation is describing, is the equivalent of the friend zone for women. Now, it should be telling to all of you that are listening that this is a very common occurrence in 2023. Like Matthew Hussey is literally a millionaire because he advises women on how to deal with this because it's so common. So again, that's because girls would rather share a winner than be with a faithful loser.
I end up reaching out to him or replying to his messages to me, and everything gets rekindled. Help. So
now what's funny is she doesn't actually want help. She knows what she's doing. She just wants to be removed of the responsibility or the accountability of being with that guy. She wants to be with that guy. She wants to date this guy seriously, but she knows at the back of her mind he's never going to give it to her. But she'd rather have him than nobody at all, and she'd certainly rather have him than the 15 guys in her friend zone.
Let's start with some important fundamentals about this. You're in a situation where the other person's vision is different from yours. In this case, his vision is, I don't want a relationship right now. I'm not ready. And yours is that you absolutely do want a relationship. Now, that immediately puts you on someone else's timeline, not on your own. So we have to start by seeing that for what it is.
Well, what Matthew is implying is that the girl should own the frame of the relationship, and she shouldn't, right? You go on the guy's timeline. But here's the thing. You need to be with a guy that actually wants to be with you in the long term, right? Now, guys don't start off this way, right? Guys usually start off with just wanting to have bedroom fun. But if you as a girl demonstrate the behaviors of a girlfriend, you know, and when I say behaviors, I don't just mean like the actions you do, but also your end count. If you demonstrate that you're a good girl, a good bet for a relationship, most guys will go for it. They'll go for a relationship. The only guys that won't go for it are true chads, or, you know, guys that at that point in their life are not interested in long-term relationships. But this determination of whether he's interested in a long-term relationship or not, that can happen in 1 or 2 dates. Guys will usually tell on themselves. They'll be very obvious, right, whether they're at that stage in their life or not. So you need to choose a guy who actually wants to have a relationship. If he just wants to use you for bedroom fun in a friends with benefits arrangement, go to another guy, obviously.
It's a departure from what you want for yourself by keeping this person in your life. Or
again, so many women in 2023 are brainwashed, right? They're like, oh, I just want to sleep with Chad after Chad after Chad after Chad, not realizing that is incredibly destructive for women. It just absolutely ruins their lives, utterly. Women can't be sleeping with multiple guys like this. So with that in mind, keep in mind that if you want a low end count and an actual long-term relationship with a guy of value, you're going to get with a guy who actually wants a relationship, who actually treats you properly, who actually is a winner. And maybe he's not like an absolute apex winner. Maybe he's not a top 4.5 percenter, like the guys you swipe right on Tinder, but maybe he's a top 20 percenter. That would be a guy that you maybe could have a long-term relationship with who's also superior to other men. You see what I'm saying? Again, if you're going to go for the absolute top of Tinder, the top 4.5% of men, probably none of them are going to commit.
By allowing them to keep you in theirs. Now, the fact that this person doesn't want a relationship or doesn't feel ready doesn't make them a bad person. In fact, it would probably be easier if this was a bad person. It would make things more clear-cut. But when someone isn't a bad person, they just want something different from you, it's very tempting to keep them in your life. When they say, I don't want to give you up, because that's what happens a lot of the time, right? When someone says they're not ready, they say, but I don't want to lose you. Can we stay in touch? Can we still talk? Can we still be friends? And
oh, right. So when women say, can we still be friends? The answer is always no. But guys, again, like some guys who are apex men, they convince women to, be in friends with benefits even though they don't want a relationship. But again, that's only Chad. Only Chad can do that. So, and these girls, they orbit around Chad because they'd rather have Chad than some random beta male.
all of that just keeps this person in our life. And if you are anxiously attached, then that anxious attachment is going to be on fire during that time, because you're close to someone who you're just suffering all the time because they're there, but you don't quite have them. And that part of you that wants to feel secure cannot feel secure in that environment. See, I believe that whether you're avoidant attachment style or whether you're anxious, you can actually come more to the middle. You may never be the other side of the pendulum, but you can actually come more to the center, to that secure attachment style with the right person. If you're in a safe environment, psychologically, emotionally, if you feel like you're in an environment where you can heal, then you can be anxiously attached and start to actually feel more secure.
Again, what Matthew is saying is for women to make logical choices in the men that they're with, which they don't do. So there's that. It's really funny because they say that women are pragmatic, right? And they are, right? They pragmatically choose Chad every time. They pragmatically choose winner men who don't care about them. You know, men that are better than most men. Those are the ones they choose. And they don't choose anyone else, right? But they lie to those men that aren't in the top 20, right? They lie to them. And they say, oh yeah, you're a great guy. So you're going to make some girl very happy someday. And when they say someday, what they mean is at 35 plus, when she's done sleeping with 45 chads, that's when you'll make her happy, right? It's like, no, that's not when men want to be with women. So useless advice.
And then your best self is going to come out. I define the right person as the person who, by being with them, you actually get the safety whereby you can start to heal some of those things in yourself. The wrong people are the people that take us in the worst possible way to the extreme of our attachment style. Those are the people that I don't necessarily think they're bad people, but those are people who are wrong for us, because by being with them, they're going to bring out our worst tendencies at the extreme level. Now, if you're anxiously attached, a situation where someone is telling you they're not ready for a relationship is going to send you to the extreme. So now you are going to be in a situation where you feel like you can't breathe, where you can't sleep at night, where your daytimes are just complete distraction as your attention is monopolized by thoughts and feelings about this person.
Except women only choose men that do this to them, right? They only choose the men that dominate their thoughts. Why isn't he thinking about me? What is he doing right now? I want to be with him. Where is he now? What is he, That's the kind of men that women are interested in. They're not interested in beta Billy on the block.
You'll struggle to even do some of the most basic things in your day because you're thinking about them all the time, and you're trying to solve an equation that can't be solved, which is, how can I feel safe in an environment that is inherently unsafe? That's the sad part about it, is you may be anxiously attached, but you're in an environment where your anxiety isn't even your fault, because this person...
Oh, right. Let me quote Taylor the Fiend here. So Taylor the Fiend says that a lot of women, they don't fall in love with men. They fall in love with the anxiety. So, and they fall in love with dopamine, right? The dopamine, the reward that they get from bedroom fun or whatever, from seeing the guy or from, you know, feeling that the guy is with them. They don't actually love the guy. They love the feelings that the guy gives. And the second those feelings fade, bam, they're gone. And that could describe a lot of relationships in 2023.
Is telling you I'm not ready for a relationship. They are telling you that I'm going to continue to hurt you. So trying to achieve security and beating yourself up when you don't feel it. I wish I felt more confident. I wish I didn't feel so anxious all the time. That's masochism, because this person isn't giving you a reason to feel safe. Now, I'm not taking away responsibility for the work that we have to do ourselves to make ourselves feel more secure. But what we have to do is accept that there are certain environments in which that is an extraordinarily difficult mission to put ourselves through, unnecessarily difficult. So,
Yup. A lot of women, they just put themselves through that situation when they didn't have to, right? And it causes them pain, but they didn't have to. But of course, that implies that we should use reason and accountability when we make our choices, which is a rarity for many women in 2023. Obviously not all, but many women. All right, let's end the video there. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, drop me a donation like Hunter M, Adrian, and Tom M. Just click more in the video description. Buy my books at bit.ly/heliosbooks. And of course, go to my Patreon and subscribe, patreon.com/theheliosblog. Thank you so much for listening, guys. And especially if you took the time to listen to my video to the end, I really do appreciate it. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time.